Ducati Motorcycles debuted the Panigale V2 to the world 2 years ago. The Panigale V2 in the Italian manufacturer's portfolio hasn't altered much. But don't let that stop you from checking out the Panigale V2, it'll still get your heart racing. The Panigale V2 is a little bike with a big bite, delivering power without sacrificing legendary Ducati superbike style. The Panigale V2 has a single-sided aluminum swing arm, which is standard on all Ducati high-end sports bikes. The substantial fairing draws attention to the relatively modest twin-cylinder Superquadro engine, which is smaller than the Dismossidisi Stradale, making the bike appear slimmer and less scary than the Panigale V4. The Panigale V2 is now available both in the traditional Ducati red with black 5Y spoke rims and in the new vibrant white Rosso livery that mixes details in intense Ducati red with star white silk. The predominance of the white highlights the bike's shapes and strips it down to its purest perfect self. The more aggressive side of the Panigale V2 becomes even more energetic, boosted by the red on the rims, the front air inlets, and the air deflector of the upper half fairing. These latter two red accents accompany the air inside the motorcycle, air flows that power the engine and cool the radiator. Dominating the front end are the two large air intakes, the upper parts of which incorporate the full LED headlight. The new intakes merge with the existing air feed layout via newly designed ducts that, delivery rates remaining equal, lose less pressure than the previous ones, thus boosting intake efficiency. The headlight has been compacted with the express intent of giving the intakes themselves, especially with the bike at standstill, a more menacing air. Two specially shaped rims on the undersides of the air intakes speed up air inflow. The full LED headlight consists of a daytime running light, which creates a dual eyebrow effect, highlighting the upper rim of the air intake, and two compact dipped beam high beam LED modules. The fairing has a dual layer configuration. A main layer that extends upwards and merges into the tank via two sturdy struts, and a secondary layer that also acts as an air vent. This dual-layer solution revives the clean lines typical of Ducati sports bikes, famed for their full fairing look. The fairing underside merges visually with the under-engine silencer, which terminates in an extremely compact right side-only end pipe. Compared to the engine on the 959 Panigale, the 955cc twin-cylinder Superquadro engine delivers an additional 5 horsepower and 2 Nm more of torque. It also features a new compact exhaust silencer, routed entirely underneath the engine. With a maximum power of 155 horsepower at 10,750 rpm and a torque of 104 Nm at 9,000 rpm, this twin-cylinder engine delivers power smoothly and enjoyably on the road while remaining forceful, yet always under control, on the track. The new silencer has a new internal layout and, back pressure remaining equal, abates noise spikes more easily. This has led to a considerable reduction in silencer bulk. The new silencer also houses two larger, enhanced impregnation catalytic converters that allow compliance with Euro 5 emission standards. The Panigale V2 has revised ergonomics aimed at improving comfort. The new seat allows for greater longitudinal movement of the rider and greater comfort thanks to the new foam that raises it by 5 mm. The position of the footpegs remains the same. The Panigale V2 frame consists of a compact, enhanced strength die-cast aluminum monocoque structure that uses the Superquadro engine as a stressed member. Attached directly to the cylinder heads, the monocoque frame protrudes forward to house the steering head bearings, contained in two aluminum bushes. In addition to working as a frame, the monocoque also acts as an air box. It contains not just the air filter, but also the throttle bodies and the fuel circuit, complete with injectors, and is sealed off by the steel fuel tank bottom. The The Panigale V2 features the 43mm Showa BPF fork at the front, which provide full adjustability in spring preload, compression and rebound damping. The Showa Big Piston Fork, BPF, considerably improves damping control at low speed, ensuring lower pressure oil feed and reducing the amount of fluid needed for compression and rebound adjustment. This results in improved suspension performance and significant weight savings compared to traditional fork types. The SAC steering damper completes the front-end package. The rear suspension features a fully adjustable SAC monoshock, which reacts to the motion imparted by the die-cast single-sided aluminum swing arm via progressive rate linkage. The shock absorber is side-mounted to make the unit fully accessible for rebound and compression damping and spring preload adjustments. The Panigale V2 front brakes use twin M4.32 Brembo monoblock calipers actuated by master cylinders. The front calipers grip 320mm discs, while a single 245mm disc at the rear is gripped by a single Brembo caliper. The Panigale V2 has a 5-spoke 3.5-inch wheel at the front and 5.5-inch wheel at the rear, both rolling on Pirelli Diablo Rosso Corsa 2 tires. 120/70th CR17 at the front and a nimble 180/60th SAC CR17 at the rear. Pirelli's first multi-compound bike tire, the Diablo Rosso Corsa 2, combines racetrack performance with road versatility, making it just perfect for the Panigale V2. Multi-compound technology was developed out of Pirelli's experience in the World Superbike Championship. The result? Dual compound front tires with 3 different application zones and tri-compound rear tires with 5 application zones to optimize the contact patch and achieve top road and track grip under all surface conditions, dry or wet, at any lean angle. The Panigale V2 features modern electronics based on a 6-axis inertial platform, which instantly detects the bike's roll, yaw and pitch angles. The new electronics package raises active safety and dynamic control standards by adding the cornering function to the ABS, upgrading the quickshift so it now covers down changes and including traction control, engine brake control and wheelie control. As you'd expect, all controls are incorporated in the 3 riding modes, race, sport, street, and can be adjusted via the new 4.3 color TFT dashboard. Featuring a user-friendly graphic interface, browsing menus, adjusting settings and identifying the selected riding mode couldn't be easier.